can't interfere with my customers.
So small. That thing's not a lot.
Jennifer, we're going to start. Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to the July 16th, 2012 Washougal City Council meeting and ask you to please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Could we have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Boger.
Present.
Councilmember Plinsky.
Here.
Councilmember Greenlee.
Here.
Councilmember Lindsay.
Here.
Councilmember McDaniel.
Here.
Councilmember Shoemaker.
Here.
Councilmember Freeman.
Present.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the agenda for this evening? Seeing none. Rose, do we have any correspondence?
No.
Okay. And we are at the first opportunity for anyone from the public that would wish to make comment to council to step forward. Okay, won't be your only time this evening. We also got one at the end of the meeting. Brings us to our consent agenda. The main work for this evening. The consent agenda this evening is comprised of 3 different items: our council minutes of July 2nd, 2012, our workshop minutes of July 9th, 2012, and regular accounts payable claims in the amount of $348,134.94. Council?
Mr. Mayor, I ask unanimous consent that we pass the consent agenda, in particular items A, B, and C. I need to make a statement about C before we vote on it.
So would you like to take C off of
Yeah,
the?
let's take C off.
I'll second Councilmember Greenlee's motion.
So just to make sure that we're clear, we're pulling C off for
Right.
discussion. So the motion is for passage of items A and B.
Correct.
Okay, I've got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item C, regular accounts payable claims in the amount of $348,134.94.
I just wanted to mention that one of those items is a reimbursement to myself, and so I just wanted to acknowledge that publicly.
And I would like to state that I made an inquiry of the city administrator about the Department of Commerce item, and he was going to get back to me on that. I don't know what story goes on that.
Thank you, Councilman. I sent you an email, but it probably was while you were on your way. You're probably already on your way here. That's a routine Public Works Trust Fund loan payment for one of our prior projects.
Okay. And the only other thing I'd like to state is there was a reimbursement or a payment to the city of Vancouver, my employer, which I have confirmed is not a conflict of interest because I don't own the city of Vancouver. I have ownership interest in it. Is that correct, Mr. City Attorney?
I think that's correct, unless you have an ownership interest I'm not aware of.
Okay.
What would be council's pleasure with the accounts payable claims?
I move we pass the regular AP claims as described.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And already we are back at that second opportunity for public comment. Anyone that would like to address council this evening? Okay, seeing none, I have just a quick item for under the mayor's report. And Jennifer and Connie Jo, you can certainly pipe in. There are, what I have for you are the results of the appointments committee meeting this last week in regard to the open seats that were created from Councilmember Russell's vacancy. Basically, the Recommendation is coming forward that new Councilmember Boger be put onto the Public Safety and Regional Fire Authority Review Committees. Councilmember McDaniel taking the open seat on Public Works Committee, and Councilmember Greenlee taking the seat on the Shoreline Review Committee. That is what we have for you this evening. We're certainly open for any questions that you may have. The actual setting of the committees themselves does take action by the council.
Mr. Mayor, I move we ratify the report of the Appointments Committee.
Second?
Got a motion and a second to ratify and approve the recommendations of the Appointments Committee. Any other council discussion? Dave?
Can we have a moment to look this over?
Sure. Again, the only 4 changes are the ones that were noted there in the red.
In red.
Got it. Thank you.
Any other council discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That is the only item that I have for you this evening. Council member comments?
Just one thing, I'd like to ask that for workshop, we bring up the Code and Policy Review Committee and for discussion.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what was that issue again?
In workshop, I'd like to bring up the Code and Policy Review Committee for discussion.
Okay. Thank you.
Joyce?
Yes, on August 13th workshop, I'd like to request the members of the council come together to discuss their vision of our city or their plans.
We'll make sure that that one gets put on there. Any other items? Connie Jo?
Yeah, would like to discuss at a workshop combining workshops and council meetings to the same evening. A few of us talked about that when we were talking about the appointments. At the appointments committee, that it had been discussed in the past, but because many of us are new, it's something that we could bring up where you have the workshop one Monday night for the next coming council meeting. Then you have your council meeting immediately following that. So we would come to work twice a month instead of 4 times a month. Get it all done.
Is that all it is?
That's the positive. The other one was, we don't have to come in 4 times a month. We get to come in every other Monday that way.
Okay, we can make
So-
sure that that makes it onto a
Okay.
workshop agenda as well.
I'm curious, have we done any work to advance what it would take to be able to postpone or cancel a council meeting when all we have on the agenda is consent agenda?
Yes. Now that I've heard the request for this other item, I think we could combine that
Perfect.
topic. But what I was preparing to do potentially next week was bring an ordinance, a draft ordinance that for workshop discussion that would delegate that authority to the mayor. But I think this is all interrelated, so we should talk about when we're going to meet and then also include within that authority. If we can pull something together to have a meaningful conversation next week, we'll try to do that. Otherwise, it would be the first workshop in August.
Thank you.
Any other items or any other items from council?
Question.
Yes, Dave?
Councilmember Lindsay had asked for a discussion of individual council member goals. Any idea when we're going to do that?
I think
I
she
asked
wanted to
for
do it for
August.
the 13th.
13th of August.
13th. Good, thank you.
Any other items?
Just that I enjoyed seeing the Veterans Court car show. Mayor,
Thank you.
on Saturday.
It was fun to be there. Thankfully, it was sunny.
I have one other comment. The Camas Washougal Rotary on this Thursday will be giving Mr. Hickey the Citizen of the Year Award for his outstanding contributions in our community, and I thought that you all should know that.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Connie Jo?
Just dawned on me, you'd probably like to get a CTRAN report if, what happened at the meeting is that we moved forward the decision to choose, let me see, I want to make sure I say it well, the locally preferred alternatives for bus rapid transit and for light rail so that it could go for a ballot measure. It's a difficult, strange thing, government, and all these regulations that many of the people weren't ready to move it forward, but in order to get the vote of the people, which had been promised, and everybody felt that that was really what the people wanted, was an opportunity to vote whether or not to raise sales tax to cover the costs of these two projects. So that's what happened. It was a milestone since I've been on the board, because since the moment I sat there, they've been working towards that effort. So they're going to be writing the fors and the pro and cons and for the ballot measure, and come November, we'll get that opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have one other thing I'd like to comment. I've been, I am now serving on the, it is the Community Action Advisory Board, which is through Clark County, for, they distribute block grants and funding to various programs to help the homeless and needy in Clark County. Today was my first long meeting, and I think it's going to be very interesting. And there are 3 elected officials, Battleground, Vancouver, and Washougal, and I feel that it's my responsibility to make sure that resources are coming in here into the East County so that so it's just not Vancouver-centric.
Thank you for sitting on that board. Brent?
I would like to point out that with my other hat on, in about an hour, I will be with the Vancouver City Council considering the Coltrane resolution, which was modeled to a large degree on one Washougal passed. So,
Should be able to read about that in the morning.
yeah, probably will.
Dave?
2 announcements. The Public Safety Committee will meet on the 20th of August at the police station in their training room there, and we'll welcome our new member, Brent Bogert.
Thank you.
And the Regional Fire Authority Planning Committee will meet on the 2nd of August at the Camas City Council chambers in order to hear a presentation on an organization, a city that's actually gone through this process and has created a regional fire authority. And we're going to hear from them how they did it, the considerations that went into the planning, and how successful it was, and whether or not they liked what came out of it.
Councilmember, what time is that?
5:30.
5:30.
And the Public Safety Committee's at noon. Thank you. I neglected these little details.
It says 1 on the meeting times. Is it noon?
Say again?
It says 1 on the meeting time.
Yes, it is at noon. It says
is
on
at
the
noon.
paper here. It shows here, where's that thing?
First committee.
Oh, the very top.
First line.
Yeah, 3rd Monday, 1 o'clock, so that should be updated to 12, right,
Right.
David?
Joyce?
Another comment on the resource directory that was going to be put together out of that meeting we had. Is there any progress on that? Where does the stand? Where's that stand?
On the community resource? Dave, Rose?
You do have that information, I thought I emailed that to you, is it attachment? Okay, I emailed it to you, so it's
When did you email it to me?
last week, when you requested it.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
send it
I'll
back
go
to you
back and
again.
review that, but I do not
It's
recall
in
it.
an Excel spreadsheet, so.
Okay, thank you.
Any other items? I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So move.
Second?
I've got a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
righty.
days I'm going to oppose that.
No, I want to hang out. I just want to hang out and do nothing.